we are live. Welcome to my video. This is going to be my thoughts on the 2022 show Connect Season 1, Episode 3, Composition. So, the episode is rated TV MA, so will this video be. And like the other videos I've done on the show so far, there will be spoilers for the episode and the ones leading up to it, and I loved the episode. Yeah, I thought they did a good job. Like, I had skimmed other reviews, and I saw, well, yeah, I'd skimmed reviews, and saw that at least one person felt this was a place the show dropped off. I didn't read the details because fucking user reviews, man, they just really bring me down. I try not to read them anymore. It wasn't even really intentional that I skimmed this one, but it stuck in my head. I can sort of see how some might feel frustrated with this one because it seems like, okay, this could resolve it. They're gonna come face to face at the start of this episode, but instead it's drawn out a little further. I don't know enough about, so this is a South Korean show. I think this is the first South Korean show I watch. I'd like it to not be the last one. And yeah, I mean, I can't rule out that they had to make 5 episodes because, yeah, there's a version of the show where this is the last episode, where this resolves everything, But yeah, I thought enough happened. By the end of the episode, the killer knows the protagonist is Connect. It has been made clear that the killer is dying, somewhat ironically. And the let's see, let's go with the girl who knows about Connects. Yeah, she Connect Wiki has is now being, like, the listening device has been found, and they know it was her who must have planted it, so they're looking for her. The cops are following the jogger. And yeah, at the end, they're taking, the protagonist's statement, and it seems like they're willing to listen to the idea. Yeah, and this episode lays out very clearly, Connect Wiki is looking to be clear, I'm not trying to dehumanize her with the language. I cannot remember these names. I'm sorry. I struggle enough with English language names. But the I'm referring to every character by their role in the story, including her. Yeah, she is determined to stop the organ harvesting group, and I could see how she might be able to use the police too, because if not that, I do not see how this is going to be resolved in the next 2 episodes, and I suppose it's not impossible that it won't be, though as far as I understand there is currently only 1 season of this. But yeah, sometimes shows don't resolve everything in the first season and don't get follow-up seasons. I'll live. I've seen it happen so many times, it doesn't really get to me anymore. Let's see, but yeah, protagonist is very much about, stopping the killer. Yeah, I mean, I would have been frustrated if there hadn't been so much progress, yeah. But yeah, I will say, there at the start, I was not sure how killer was going to get out of this situation. The protagonist runs up the stairs, and the killer hears him, so doesn't run to because that would be like, oh hey, you're looking for a guy. He went right past me. I tried to stop him, but if you could just run past me, that would be great. But yeah, protagonist gets to the floor and tries First he tries pushing on the door that clearly says pull, and then he does pull, and then he keeps pulling, and it's like, I think it's locked. I think that might be why you're not accomplishing the task at hand. Yeah. And not long after someone else opens, and he's like playing it cool and sneaking in, and then he has to come back out because the killer ran right past. And this time he does realize, oh, okay, you press the button and then it unlocks. And although, did he try at least once without pushing? I think he did, yeah. And then he goes out to the bathroom, confronts the wrong person, and then he's like, the killer is in here. And then he tries pushing on the toilet door. This poor guy just can't get a hang of door locks. That's the whole problem here for you, my man. And at first I wasn't entirely sure how the killer was seeing this play out, but yeah, of course the other guy brings in someone to, yeah, that brings in the guards, security guards, the guards. And yeah, he faces a little bit more abuse, although I do understand why he is upset at this guy confronting him like this. But yeah, the I do not know what protagonist thinks is going to happen. I appreciate seeing the shoes is like, okay, this is definitely the killer. But although did he see some? Did he see her shoes? No, that was a cop, I think. Anyway, yeah. Moving on. Then he's like climbing in, going into the other stall and like sticking his hand. What do you think is going to happen? How do you see this playing out in your head? But yeah, he gets stabbed in the hand, and I like that the killer like even twists the pen. I guess the pen really is mightier than the sword, and he would not have been able to wield a sword in there. And he sees the connect, so yeah, gradually we're getting into a place where the most significant major characters know these really significant things. By the end of their conversation, she also knows about the eye transplant. Jumping ahead slightly. Yeah, and yeah, the girl who's friends with the killer, and also with the other girl, the one whose neck bones sticking out her neck now, and yeah, she's convinced that this is the guy, and rips off the and I mean, one can understand why. She saw him being creepy earlier, and there's a psychological, I forget what it's called, but if we see someone we don't like, we're gonna assume they did a wrong thing, even if we don't have sufficient evidence to make a real case for it. But yeah, as soon as she rips off the eye patch, then they're like, what's wrong with his eye? Where's his eye? And it's again this thing of like, I mean, he didn't bear the eye socket, she did. Why are you judging him instead of telling her, what are you doing? The guy's already like, handcuffed, stripped. He's been stripped. His hands have been stripped of their authority, and you're gonna do this to him. Like, what's your fucking problem here? Yeah, I really appreciate the show commenting on things like the bystander effect, and the way that low class and or physical deformity is treated as like signs of moral degeneracy. She barely even reacts to the killer being angry at her over defending him. Let's see. I think that does bring us nicely to, yeah, so the cops talking to the killer, and I appreciate the thing about Yeah, well, if you already know why do you ask questions to which you already know the answers? Those in the old Dumbledore. And I think yeah, anyone who didn't know that I'm trolling is yeah, I'm obviously joking. It's Gandalf. It's Magneto. I love the several of the X-Men movies, including those first two. Anyway, yeah. And yeah, the cop notices, wow, he's getting really, when she defends him, he gets so much more upset than when we talk to him about this, and yeah, he says, this guy's an extreme narcissist. Now, I am not the right person to go into detail about it, so I will just note, it is unfortunate that we hyper focus on narcissists because they're, uh, there's a lot of people who are not narcissists who do the things we hate, that we are currently thinking of as, oh, that's what narcissists do, so yeah. Um, yeah, there's some excellent leftist YouTubers who discuss it in detail. Let's see. And I'm not saying the show is the worst thing for not having that, you know. I mean, it also has a serial killer who works this job that it's not supposed to be 100% realistic. Now, I think that does bring us to the right. Yeah. Connect Wiki saving. That was a great little. We just see the shows, and yeah, suddenly she's zapping them with the, and she cuts his hands free, but she also cuts part of his arms open. I don't know if she's just being careless, or I get why she wouldn't think it's a big deal, or if she's just really likes seeing Connect in action. I can't blame her, so do I. I wouldn't cut someone for it, but yeah. And she tosses the taser to him, and he tases the one guy who gets back up. And the thing about next time, let me know what you're doing, because this is getting to I'll do it, but this is gonna be easier if we can coordinate. And yeah, they have the conversation. She explains, when she was younger, a kid, Connect, saved her life. And she explains about, planting the, what's the word? The device, tap, yeah, the Jaker. Sorry, the tapper. And, yeah, she's a novelist, aspiring novelist. At this point, she's still having to put her own books on the, library, I want to say, shelves, and pretending they're, legitimately put there. And then we have the, yeah, what's the other thing? Was it a bookstore? It's been too long since I watched that. Anyway, yeah. And yeah, she witnesses the eye transplant thing, and is told how that works. And yeah, at this point, the killer's already won. He's just toying with, and let's see, I forget if that was that scene or later, but at some point in this episode, he yeah, he draws, he and writes, and is yeah, just taunting him basically. Let's see, and then we have, let's see. Yeah, I quite like the way that they found the yeah, um, they find the tapping device by, oh, one of the pets is gone. Is it Sodom? No, it's Gomorrah. And they look, it's like, oh, drop everything. Some her cat is missing, and should I stop making such obscure references? I feel like nobody but me remembers that show. It's 20 years old. I'm not sure anybody but me even watched it, even though it got a full season. Anyway, yeah. It was just a joke. It was a joke I really liked on that show. One of several, which I guess is not high praise for a show with like 22 episodes. Anyway, that was like a comedy show, a sitcom. Anyway, yes. So let's see. I think that does pretty well bring us to. Yeah, it was. I guess it's not quite good cop, bad cop, but like good cop, bad at his job cop. Because why do you still have him? Why can't you stop hassling people who just like jogging? And the guy doesn't even realize they're gonna follow him. Just yeah. That was yeah. Oh right, and the thing with oh, I heard your song. It was really good. I mean, the version Z made, and then he's like, oh, it was just like, rude. I didn't choose my name, and I'm just joking about your song. Is that oh, it's a thing. That was yeah, yeah, and the killer tries to get information on protagonist through that. Um, saying, "Oh, we'd really love to use the music for an ad, but we'd really like to get in touch with the original artist." Which, yeah, the way they're showing, like the killer has a much easier way of getting information out of people because he can just go up and say, "Here, would you like to participate in capitalism with me, good sir? I am a high status and thus high value individual within this system." Whereas the protagonist, and I'll grant he doesn't do himself any favors by being kind of weird about it, but yeah, he's looking for a killer, and because he doesn't come across as, high class, yeah, he has a much more difficult time. Let's see, I think that does get us to the I like the mix of emotions on his face when he hears Z's version on the radio, because like on the one hand it's like so many people are listening to my song, and it's also this thing of like, they're not thinking of me when they're listening to it, they're thinking of Zed, sorry. I don't think I've done enough to like annoy conservative Americans in this video yet. We all have our hobbies. I think that pretty well gets us to the... hold on. There's one more. What's the other thing? It was pretty cool when he's like jumping over, to get into the building. Yeah, jumps over the what's it called, turnstile thing, and just yeah, and then he's again able to be smooth. Sometimes he is quite good at this. Let's see. I think, but yeah, the killer pretty much comes out and says, "So you're testing me? You knew he didn't just say thief. He said I thief." And yeah, they're seeing if he's willing to, because if he's telling the truth, he's innocent. Because like why would he, risk getting into trouble over this? Right, and I also appreciate, by now, yeah, the several characters are aware it's the song that gets the eye transplant thing. Yeah. Let's see, I think, I guess it's kind of poetic justice when the surgeon is the one getting knocked out, although I don't think the killer takes any of his organs. And, I mean, they could have had it be that he just got rid of a body and he's about to put a thing. No, they have, clearly he just cut up someone. We see that there. That's like they had to make that, or possibly reuse. I guess it's there is some chance they're reusing the one that was the protagonist one, but yeah, there's a cut up body there in the shot, just to help, make it even more like grisly and yeah. Yeah, and protagonist sees the street musician again, and it's like, did you hear, or the songs on the radio? And then again, the killer's just taunting him, and protagonist has got to get better at not falling for it, because he again runs. Now I'm wondering if he also doesn't know how cars work, because you cannot run that fast. That's gonna, yeah. Let's see. Then we have the, yeah, he gets stopped, and the cops are about to take his statement, and the episode closes on that. And yeah, I'm legitimately, yeah, because like he knows some stuff, and certainly if they show him a picture of the person we know to be the killer. Oh fuck, wait, did he see his face? He saw his shoes. I guess that's not nothing. I'm not sure he saw his... Did he see it in, like, reflection, maybe? No, wait, that was a different reflect. There was someone's reflection in a shot, but that wasn't his, I don't think. But, yeah, I mean, if they say this guy worked in the building and he was real suspicious when we talked to him, yeah, there is some chance. Yeah, I think that does pretty well cover. Yeah. This was the first episode where they didn't show him falling out of a tree. I mean, it's okay. They didn't need... Yeah. It was just something I noticed. And it, yeah, I don't know. It kind of tickled me, the line, oh, he's sick with an illness, as opposed to being ill with the sickness. Yeah, it's an illness. He did not get down with the sickness.